Everyone's crazy about having more abundance in life. What is it?
For me, abundance is having it all. We have this limiting mind that tells us that we can only have this, we can only have that. For me, abundance is not something that you attain from outside of you. It's something that comes from within you. It's who we are, who our soul is, right? Who we came to this planet, this earth as a soul, as is abundance, love, light, joy. It's everything that we are.
What does it feel like when you feel like you're abundant right now? Can you describe what it feels like in your body, maybe in life?
In my body, relaxed, calm. Yeah. Because when I'm abundant, I'm feeling this capacity to hold. If you're to explain to somebody that doesn't necessarily grasp that within themselves, it's being in flow with life. Because life is abundant. I mean, if you look around you, you look at nature, it's abundant everywhere. And we forget that we're part of that system.
So is it the availability of things? When I feel like I'm abundant, it feels like I'm standing in a fountain or something. And it's pouring and it's giving, and I can choose and receive or take. I used to order things. I felt like I don't know how abundance works. I just felt like for quite a few years when I was struggling with lots of trauma, I felt like it was only when I was angry when I would stomp and I would say, right, I need this to happen. And it would happen. Asking and waiting, it wasn't working. It felt like I'm open to things, but only unlucky abundance was happening. Or how do you call it? Negative abundance.
For me, abundance is a positive. Abundance is more of what you are and can express and experience. When you're talking about abundance as a feeling, it's again coming as something outside of you. Whereas it's like I'm not abundant now and then not abundant then. I am abundant. That's just, it's coming from that certainty of I am abundant. I am abundance. And what I hear in that, what you created there was, we can talk about manifestation, manifesting abundance, if you want to look at it from that perspective. There was like a direct, as you said, I order things. There was a direct order, a direct knowing, a direct connecting with, I want this. And you then raised your frequency, your vibration to align with stepping into the version of you that has that. And when we're coming from lack and we're not seeing that we're abundant, we step into a space of I can't have. And the universe doesn't know the difference between I want and I don't want. It just here's the thing. And then it either gives you the bad abundance, as you called it, or the good. So if you're in the mindset of I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, which most of us are coming from, you're creating more of the this that you don't want. When you're getting and raising your vibration into a state of what you do want, that was like a I want this clear message right out there, and then you got it.
Yes, absolutely. I listened to this video yesterday when someone was talking how abundance is tied to the feeling of self-worth. When you feel, yes, I deserve this and I want this, that's when you can call in the abundance of good things.
Well, again, this comes back to the vibration, the frequency that we're putting out there is coming from our belief systems, our subconscious beliefs. You might have a subconscious belief of I'm not worthy, I'm not enough. That's going to then create a whole bunch of actions that happen and occur within your life, the way you speak, the actions that you take that attract more of that. And you may not even realize it's happening. If you don't believe that you're worthy of, your nervous system is going to start pushing away, subconsciously self-sabotaging. The body and the mind wants to prove itself right. If you're not worthy, you will create situations in your life that prove that that's correct, that you're not worthy, without even realizing that you're doing it. It's all just happening subconsciously.
How is abundance different from the law of attraction?
For me, the law of attraction is just a universal law. If you look into quantum physics, I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to go into any details of that. But for me, the law of attraction comes back to that vibration. Everything is energy. I'm vibrating. This is vibrating. You might not think that it is, but it will be emitting a frequency. The law of attraction is those frequencies attract each other. So if I'm vibrating from a state of a lower vibration, which is coming from these lower energy centers of I'm not worthy, the attraction to that will attract I'm not worthy. So it's different to abundance, where abundance is what we are, that we have there's every available version of us that exists right now that has everything that you could possibly desire.
So would you say it's the potential of things we can claim, own, and get?
Abundance. Yeah.
The law of attraction is more, I vibrate like this today, I attract this today.
And not even today necessarily. Our current reality is our past vibration or our past beliefs, our past thoughts. And it could be, you could be if you're in flow state, you could just be like attracting, right? And creating. But sometimes it's going to be a bit of a lag to catch up with because you haven't quite met that frequency yet.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a friend who introduced me to this practice, which is you meditate. Many people, when they want to attract something or manifest, they say something like, this has happened, this is happening. And I loved the phrase he gave me. He said, it is requested. And I thought, that's my thing. It's requested. It has to happen. And I go, this is my purpose. This is my goal. If you want me to keep doing it, I need someone to show up who knows how to do this because I need more hands. And it happens, a month later, a bit later. But I go, okay, the impulse is there. I'm becoming the person who's looking for those things in people.
That's it.
Changing my vibration.
And it's also what I hear in that is like, there's the certainty with creating abundance in your life. There's that certainty and that trust that you are it. And that it is available. My version of that is it's done. I am it. I already am it. I become the person right now that I need to be to create that in my life. I'm probably not there yet, but I'm deciding that I'm there. So it's creating that straight in. You're going, I'm ordering it and I'm ready to receive it. Give it to me. And I'm like, it's done. I have certainty of that. And then I surrender and I just trust in source, God, universe, creator, whatever your flavor of that is, energy. I just trust that it has my back. And then I live a freer life because then I can just get on with who do I need to be? What action do I need to take that's going to align with that version that receives that?
So why do so many people work on abundance and it just doesn't seem to be working for them?
I don't know if you know anything about Kabbalah.
No.
Kabbalah is a spiritual practice. It stems from Jewish mysticism, but it's not Judaism. It's not a religion. It's all about being like the light and taking directly from source rather than from people and expanding your vessel, your body, to be able to hold more of the light of the creator, they call it. For me, that's abundance. That's anything your heart desires. If you look at the universe is serving always. If you think about the sun gives, right? The rain gives, like everything is about giving. And I believe that when we're coming from a place of giving, rather than from a place of want, like I want this because I'm lacking it, we step into the flow. If energy is in, out movement, constant movement, when we're in that giving, we're able to then receive as well. And that's how the universe is moving through us constantly.
How did you come up with an idea to create this journey around the book? What's in the book that made you see the potential of creating a journey like this? How can it help people change how they do things?
What's in it for me? Truth. You know, when you hear something and it connects, you're like, yep, that's a truth. I feel it in here. And I love the book because it talks about the science of things. And I think for people who have very busy minds, me too, it's like, oh, okay, so I can actually get on board with this. If you're not quite spiritual and you can see it from the scientific perspective, then it makes sense. All the laws that we speak about in physics, they're all in there. And then it talks about the truth of who we are and how we connect in with that being and how we, through our beliefs and everything like that, then create and affect what we're creating in our life. And for me, that truth, I just went and applied everything and I just noticed the shift in my life in terms of how I relate to life much more positively. And not that, toxic positivity of just say things and, pretend fake it till you make it, less reactive and more creative, more surrendering, more trusting, more certainty, and just showing up like that. I just watched my business took a turn. After I read that book, I had the best month in my business. From a wealth perspective, it was beautiful. And then I could start to see, okay, where can I apply this to all the abundance, not just wealth? Because I think often we think abundance, we think money. Wealth is more than just money, right? You can be wealthy in love. You can be wealthy in joy. You can be wealthy in happiness, in sex, in, whatever your heart desires. For me, having that book, and then I just was like, I have to share this. I have to share this with people. I want everyone to read this. You say to people, read a book, and they're like, yeah. So then by sharing my experience with people, I'm like, let's go along on this journey together where we get to slow down, read a couple of chapters a week, and then go deep with each other, regulate our nervous systems together while we're doing it so that we can expand our capacity to hold everything we want to call in. And who doesn't love a community? To have that, to be able to bounce ideas and hear other people's perspectives allows you to take it so much deeper as well. And then selfishly for me, I I get to read the book again and take it deeper with these amazing people.
The nervous system regulation, is that from the book, or you're just adding it as something that's very important?
I'm adding it as something that's very important. I've done a lot of work on myself.
Yeah, I know.
Years and years and years. And I got to a point where I was like, I'm working on myself. And I'm like, I don't know everything yet, but like, I've got it. Why is there still things not shifting for me? Why am I still not abundant? What is it? And I realized that I've lived a life of a lot of trauma. I grew up with a very volatile family, constantly in survival mode, constantly checking to see if everything's safe, to determine how I should show up so that I can experience love, because that's all we want as little children. And my nervous system is like, it's shot. I'm living in survival. No wonder I can't receive, because I don't have the capacity to receive. And our nervous system, when we're coming from fight or flight, prefrontal cortex is switched off. We're not creative. We're not in a position to be able to properly expand and experience.
You're scanning for danger.
I'm not looking for abundance. I'm not even noticing the abundance, because I'm just like, be safe, be safe. Is this safe? And you're not even aware that it's happening, because it's just so ingrained in the body. And I think there's that book, The Body Keeps the Score, right? It really does. And then what will happen is you will push things away, opportunities, money, without even realizing. Like, you see these lottery winners that win loads of money. So they were poor, and then they won loads of money, and then they just blow it all, and they're back worse off than when they started, because their nervous system, their vessel, their body is not able to hold that much. They need to expand and feel safe within themselves to be able to hold it. They just get rid of it, just like that. So for me, it's like, if we're going to call in abundance, it's like, I want to take all of you, all parts of you, not just the mind and understanding something on an intellectual and maybe on a subconscious, but really bringing the body in, because that's where the subconscious connects with the nervous system.
Yeah, because if your body is not trusting that you deserve it, you're blocking it.
Exactly. And it's sneaky. You don't even know you're doing it.
But also, because I work with somatics a lot, sometimes your brain doesn't know the answers. The shoes, you read about them, your coach tells you about it, and you go, yeah, I know. Which is why sometimes, some people come to us, and then you both agree what they need to do, and they never come back because they can't move on to that stage, take that step. I teach people to work with their body, to understand, to listen to the body, to get answers. What do I really want? Do I really want this, or am I just doing it because someone wanted me to? Am I doubting myself? And exactly, talking to your body through this process. Yeah, working with your nervous system, because the body has so many secrets, and it can tell you what it needs.
And it does every day, and people don't realize, like, we get sick. That's the body going, hello, there's something over here you need to look at, but we ignore that, and we put plaster on it. We take some medicine, and we just completely don't listen. And then what happens? Go from dis-ease to disease. And when you've had a lot of trauma, like I have, I was so disconnected from my body. It's still a work in progress for me. I had bulimia, I had eating disorders, anorexia, because I was so detached from my body. I didn't want to be in it because it didn't feel safe. So my work has been, and what's been shifting for me as part of that is, as I'm regulating, I'm able to now hear what the body's saying, because you can't if you're so disconnected from it. And I'll sit with myself and we'll just ask, like, body, what is it? And it'll be subtle maybe at first, but it's a practice, right? And then eventually you start to hear, like, oh, there's a little pain, there's a little nudge over there. What does that mean? Let me move. Let me see what movement does, and move the energy through us, because that's all stuck energy that's sitting in our nervous system. And every time we stimulate our parasympathetic nervous system and our vagus nerve starts to switch on, which is our rest and digest, we then put ourselves into the safe space to be able to then explore the subconscious, explore and bring in these new ideas and things in a place where we feel safe to do so that we can then hold that or release trauma, whatever else we need to do to heal.
I noticed that for many people, we want love, we want money, we want success. And as soon as it comes, we feel like, oh, there's an abundance of it coming. You get scared. You have this overflow, and some people run away from it. It's something that we want, and then when it comes, we freak out, and sometimes we shut ourselves down. Why does that happen?
I think it could be so many reasons.
And what do we do about it?
Yeah. We don't want that.
We don't want to be doing that. So what do we do when it happens? When I feel like, oh my God, I feel like running away again.
I would look at why. For example, I can share my own example of receiving. I didn't realize I had a problem with receiving. And I had the situation where I was a bit worried about money. I'd left my job, and it was like the first time I was all on my own, not having a salary coming in. The mind was ticking. Okay, it's all up to me now, And I had spent some money on a course, and then my body went, oh, and I felt it. And I was like, okay, noted. Okay, what's that? What are you afraid of, body? What's going on? And I realized that it was that just like letting go of money. So I had a thing of holding. For me, it's like holding on to money, which we know energetics of money, like give, receive, they both have to be there. So I worked through that. I regulated. There's just some things that you can do to regulate. For me, the quickest thing I have is I bring my dominant hand to my heart and my opposite hand over, and I just push. You might have to watch your microphone.
Yeah,
and then I just make rotations, and like instantly I can feel, like I got goosebumps. Instantly my body regulates, because it's like the same as what you receive from a hug.
Oh.
So then you're stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system, you're going to calm. And then I asked myself the question, what's going on here? And then I let it go, and I was like, okay, universe, I'm letting this go, and I'm trusting like this money will come back. And then I had literally the next day, I had a client that paid me the exact amount of money that let out. As soon as I trusted, as soon as I let go, as soon as I told myself that I was safe.
There is something about this, the art of money. You can only get it when you spend it.
Yes.
It's like, it needs movement.
Exactly. It's energy.
You can't just say, I want to be abundant in money, and I'm just going to sit on it.
No.
It's never going to come. You go, I need money because I need it for this, this, and that. I need more love in my life because I have so much to give and I want to share. I am love. I want to share love. I want to be surrounded by people who love me. I think as soon as you know your why, what's it for, and you move it around, you start exchanging, then it works.
Yeah. And that's like kind of what we were talking about with the exchange of the universe, right? The universe is serving us, so we need to serve back. So it's like when it's coming from a selfish perspective, there's no real reason for that to flow. But we need to, if you're just sitting on money in your bank account, the universe is like, but you're good. You don't need any more, you're good, you know?
You're not even spending.
Yeah, exactly. Why do you want it? Like, because I need this. Yeah, you're right, we have to spend it.
Not all of it, but
not all of it. Yeah, exactly. And we need to be open to receiving. And receiving is on the same temperature gauge as giving. It's the same thing, just a different part of it. I had a couple of people after that experience where I was like, okay, I'm going to be in the flow. I'm going to let go of this. I'm just going to trust that the universe has my back. I am abundant. And then people started gifting me things. And I noticed how uncomfortable I was with receiving a gift. One business partner gifted me a retreat. And that's not a small gift, right? That's a couple of grand. And I was like, I can't accept that. And then I sat with it and I was like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for this beautiful gift. Not only have you given me this, you've also given me an opportunity to receive. I didn't realize that I had a problem with that. So if I have a problem with receiving, where my body is literally would have gone, no, that's okay, I can't accept that, right? That's my body pushing it away. Once I can notice where am I showing up in a way that is deflecting abundance from my life, then I can start to look at that and shift it and see, okay, where's that come from? Why do I give so much? Okay, maybe I give so much because of something that's happened in my childhood, and now that's my mechanism ultimately to receive love. So I push away.
Yeah. I noticed also, I was actually thinking about it today just before you came in, the bit of the receiving. I'm so happy right now, everyone wants to gift me something. Yeah, sure, give it to me. With some people who are, in their 20s, when you work with them or you got friends who are younger, you want to give them something and they just go, what's that for? What do they want from me? And I remember being exactly like that. But then as soon as I turned 30 something, I go, if anyone wants to gift me something, I like roses, I like this, I like traveling, I like that. I'm happy. I'm in my receiving mode. I'm happy to receive. I realize I don't owe anyone anything and no one expects me to and nobody can expect. So it's all can be abundance and sharing, and that's how it works. But it comes from life lessons and going to festivals, and that's where you learn about abundance, right? When people just pass by and say, do you want some chocolate?
Yeah.
Do you want some water?
Yeah.
Would you like a hug? And then they keep going. And
we're not asking anything in return. I think as a society, we are almost taught to be polite and not take. Even compliments, acknowledgements. Someone compliments you and you go, oh, this old thing. I don't, because I've done work around this. And I'm like, thank you for your acknowledgement. I wholeheartedly accept. And I love to give acknowledgements. And if someone doesn't want to take my acknowledgement, it's like me handing you a box of chocolates and you slapping it out my hand and being like, no, thank you. Take it, accept it, receive it, and give it, and let that flow as part of that. We have to be willing to receive, and we have to, it might come back to that. It will come back to that worthiness, right? Do I feel worthy to receive? Because if I don't, even if I'm not aware of that, somewhere deep in me from old scars, I'm going to sabotage, I'm going to push away.
When we were talking about abundance and money and success, when sometimes our nervous system freaks out and overflows, I just wanted to get back to it because I like claiming and ordering and saying what I want. But what I then noticed is that there were moments when when I start something new in my work and it feels like it's probably gonna be a success, or it's gonna definitely create more opportunities, it's growth, and I feel my body's going shh, and I'm happy doing it, but my body's freaking out. And then I realized that, you know, a lot of that is not something me doubting myself, because I don't, but then there is a lot of this stuff of like, you know, generational trauma and things that are coming from your body from the past, or wounding and trauma that you're not aware of. It's just, it's not even beliefs. It's just that trauma in the body, that the body keeps the score. It gets some stuff passed on to you because maybe your ancestors didn't have an opportunity like that, or something happened and it didn't end up very well for them. So it's in your body. And then when you're stepping into this moment when you're about to change your life, and that's when it's shaking and you're going, oh gosh, okay, talk to me. I think that's amazing that you're adding working with the nervous system when you're working with abundance and money and success.
Yeah, and I love that you're taking the time to go talk to me, because most people would just be so like stopped by that, and then the doubts would come up, and you know, all sorts of things, and whatever it's coming from, generational, you know, what you've heard, what you've witnessed growing up, what society's told us. There's so many things at play where we create our deep-rooted belief systems. And so like, yeah, it's doing that work to just really create that safety within yourself, because our bodies are what our souls are using to have this experience. So the body needs to be looked after and nurtured and taken care of, so we can have this experience that was designed for us to have. We just live in this world of, you know, lots of instant gratification, you know, there's so many things going on in the world, you know, so there's a lot. And we're also living from this old brain of what survival is, you know, like a saber-toothed tiger that's going to come in and take us is like the old brain there. That's what it perceives as danger, or I'm going to be cast out from the tribe, you know, that's and then I'll die, right? Yeah. It's a huge one. But we're not in that reality anymore. But the brain is still coming and operating from that reality, and the body.
I think the tribe thing is very important even nowadays, right? Because you see how many people struggle to change or become more successful or start owning abundance, right? Because I'm going to lose my friends, right? Do you have many clients who go like that? Like, oh, if I do that, I really want this, but then I'm going to lose half the people I know.
Yeah.
Must have happened to you as well.
Yeah. My world has changed. The people that I spend my time with are completely different to like a year and a half ago. And was that a fear? Yes. Did it keep me small? Yes. And what I know about abundance, if I am abundant, any clearing out is just making space for more to come in. So when I'm holding, again, money holding, whatever the holding that you're doing, if I'm holding and attaching, I'm stopping anything else from coming in. If you're in a relationship that you don't want to leave, right? But there's someone out there that could give you everything you want, but holding on there, you're stopping that next person from coming in.
Yeah. I was just having a moment. I was just thinking how it's actually, I've changed my circle of friends so many times, but it's everyone's fear, right? It's getting more and more difficult to have friendships. Like, it's my birthday next month and I'm thinking, where are my friends? Who are my friends? I definitely have people who are going to show up when I die, and people who are going to show up when I suffer, and I'm going to tell them, and we're going to show up in each other's lives because we have strong connections. We don't have to see each other every few weeks. But on the other hand, when I'm celebrating some fun things and I'm just going out, I'm kind of meeting up with random people I recently met. It's interesting. And I'm fine with that, because I do have those friends who are going to show up, their support system. But then many people are stuck in these circles of friends, and they, you know, as you get older, you know, everyone has a job and it feels like I want to be more abundant, I want to be happier. But there is this big fear of, how am I even gonna find those people?
Again, it's like a few words coming into my mind: trust, certainty. Just relinquish all control here and just trust that they are there because you are abundant. That's still coming from that lack mindset. And so that's going to create more of what you don't want. Yeah. So it's like, I trust and I want to call in. I want to call in really good friends. And that's maybe something that you start calling in and you start ordering, right? I want to order like solid people in my life. And another word that's coming up for me is gratitude. Is that we can often, like, I remember I would have like a birthday party and then I would notice everyone that wasn't there, right? And that would be the first thing I'd see the lack. And I'd be like, oh, right. And I'd be like, oh, that person didn't come. And like, instead of all these amazing people that showed up for me. And so gratitude is one of the things that can keep us in a real abundant state by really seeing what I do have. Because then that vibration is these higher vibrations.
Saying, right? You're going, well, I'm not that miserable. I have many good things.
Yeah. And that will create more of the many good things because you're in that state, you're in the flow.
What was it? There was recent, something that happened, and my husband actually said, well, you can't just go and say this to people because you're going to lose friends. And I turned to him and I said, you know what you do with friends? He said, what? I said, you make them. I'll get new ones, but I need to be true to myself.
And that's it. That's the energy, right? Because we are powerful creators. And I think we're so powerful, we forget how powerful we are.
Yeah.
We're creating everything all the time. People think that they're a victim of their circumstance. They're not. We're creating how we feel about a specific situation. We have the control of all of that. We get to choose every single moment how we show up to that moment. We could see something as a devastation, or we could see it as an absolute gift. Somebody could pass away and you could be completely in the loss of that, or you could see the gratitude for the time you had with that person. I know that's a more challenging topic, but I've experienced both. I've experienced a lot of grief, and I've experienced when I've been able to just be in the gratitude of that, and it was such a different experience for me. I got to just be in the joy of the life of the 10 years I shared with this dear friend that I lost, as opposed to being just in this endless pit of sadness. We create our experience. We get to choose. And you know, if you have, I can just make new friends. Like, it's not discarding and saying that these people weren't important, but if our path in life is to show up and fully express ourselves authentically, if we have to put veils over ourselves, those just aren't our people.
Yeah, but on the other hand, I would say that with age and because we share other values, I am becoming a little bit more forgiving.
Yes.
Yeah. I just go, well, I don't have to ruin my life. I don't have to have them in my flat every day, but I don't have to have negative, bad sort of broken relationships with people. I can just go, well, I'm just going to move away for a bit.
Forgiveness for me is like, if any of my clients know, like, it's a huge part of the work that I do with them. And I think when we see that we're all just these like 7-year-olds, right, walking around from our old trauma, you can start to have the compassion for people. And we're all just doing the best we can with the thinking that we have, from the belief system that we have. So I can then have compassion to see, okay, why did that person behave like that? I don't necessarily want it in my life, but I can understand and have compassion and forgive them. But until they can see that and expand themselves and raise their consciousness, I'm going to, I don't want that vibration with me. So there's choosing. You don't have to be with it, and you can forgive and love them and send them love anyway.
Exactly.